Ottawa is great because it's a close-knit community.
We have tremendous assets here. We have a good stock of buildings. We have great parks.
Ottawa is great to me because of the overall community.
When you got people that just want to help, they got goodness in their heart, and that's what we have here in Ottawa.
Ottawa is worthy of our best. It's worthy of all we have.
There's a comfort factor about being here that if you've got a problem, don't hesitate to stop and ask someone about it. They'll help you. My name's Rosie Verhoff. I was born and raised in Putnam County. Ottawa was established in 1834, but we had 2 theaters at one time, 2 movie theaters. Mr. Baelish had a candy shop. It was always a good place to go, if you're asking me personally. We've had some floods. The one in 1913, I guess, was the big one, but the one in 2007 is the one I experienced. But it was like, hey, you got any bleach over there? Yeah, I'll bring you over a jug. I had some Kool-Aid, some stuff in the fridge, and I took over what I had, and we sat at the kitchen table, and they had water in their home, and your feet was in the water, but you shared what you had. There may be other small towns like that, I don't know. I probably won't find out either. We create our own history, don't we? Yeah, we do. We create our own history.
I love Abraham Lincoln's quote, "It's the best way to predict your future is to create it."
I'm Dan Stechschulte.
And I'm Jillian Stechschulte, and we are residents of Ottawa, Ohio. Dan and I met in high school in art class. Shortly after college, got married, lived in a couple of cities, but then decided to move back to be close to family. And we found it to be a wonderful place to raise our families, near family. I think moving back, we wondered how we would spend our time and what we would do here, that there's not a lot in the way of entertainment, but I've always wanted some way to be involved in community service planning somehow to help.
For me, it was how many people felt the same way, like this kind of burning desire for more.
I think it would be great to have more investment in our downtown, filling the buildings down there with a variety of spaces. Just continue to build on the excitement and the energy that is downtown.
I hope that my children want to be here.
The downtown did feel tired. I mean, it pretty much closed up shop at 5 or 5:30, nobody walking down the street. My name is Megan Seitz Clinton. I was born in Ottawa and lived here until I graduated from high school, moved away for a really long time and moved back here about 4 years ago. So today we are sitting on the front porch of the house where my husband and I live that was my grandparents' house when I was growing up. I am really sentimental and I didn't want to see something bad happen to this house. I can remember talking to people when I moved back and people saying to me like, it's never going to change. Like when I would say, why isn't there a restaurant that's open? But I feel like with a few people who are maybe a little ridiculous at first, you can kind of accomplish great things. Like you just have to like get one person at a time on board. We really needed a plan because we had kind of found each other and found that we all had this shared vision, but every time we went to look for opportunity to capitalize on that energy, we would encounter this roadblock.
I think we have some unique needs here and people that are passionate about revitalization, so let's give it a go. My name is Amy Sealtz and I'm the Director of Economic Development. In my role, we are really highly focused on developing sites and buildings for really large businesses. And those businesses want amenities for their workers. They want to be in thriving communities that have other things to do besides just people coming there to work and leaving and going home.
Megan and Amy and I jokingly refer to us as the road committee nobody asked for. But what was evident right away was there was an appetite for this. Through the process of selecting a strategic planning partner, we landed on Yard & Company, and it was their advice to formulate a larger steering committee.
We found those 10 people, and I really don't think through this process we could have done without a single one of them. And we brought that plan to the village, which officially approved it on March 13th. When Yard started talking to us about, it's not just the physical assets, the paper, that is the guiding plan, but we wanted to rally the community around it to bring people together in a public space to show the potential of placemaking and make it be someplace that people wanted to go on the regular basis.
And we called it the End Zone on Walnut Street, which is right between two of our most iconic historic buildings in town. It's a great tree-lined street, so it made a great outdoor space for gathering.
And since the plan was adopted in March, we are ready to really share that out in the community. And now it's time to celebrate what you've told us and how we're going to actually make that happen in our community over the next 5 to 10 years. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for them to now join in the effort and really get behind the Go Ottawa movement.
I mean, look around you. Everybody you talk to is excited. We've tapped an energy that was there, and that's kind of the point of this, right? There is something happening here. And here we go.
I think it's amazing. I think there's so fun to see so many familiar faces and families that we know. And the enthusiasm and the energy, you can just feel it. It feels like one big family here.
The time spent on a master plan for Ottawa has really impacted the community already, and that investment in the plan is paying off early. These projects that we're announcing today are investments of over $4 million in our community.
So spending time with the Go Ottawa group next to this building, I just looked up so many times while we were working in the street saying that building is awesome and somebody needs to do something, and soon, before it's too late and before we lose that piece of history in our community. And it felt really strong on my heart that we were the people that needed to do that.
I've been brewing beer for a while with my brother and then also Jack as well in the past. You know, through this whole Go Ottawa movement, you know, we were searching for a tenant, and just the more conversations we had, Jillian and I both kept saying, we should probably just do this ourselves.
We just thought this would be an amazing opportunity. We see how Ottawa is on the verge of kind of expanding and exploding. Everybody seems to be craving a space.
So I had this idea that we should renovate this space and turning them into some sort of short-term stay option. We, more times than once, would stay in Findlay or Lima, or we would come home for a wedding and not have a place to stay.
Your offer letter is in the mail. We're getting a Jobs Ohio Vibrant Communities grant. Yay, to pull them out.
This is maybe silly, but we are hoping that this will be a kind of morale builder for the town, and seeing one investment sort of snowball into another investment, and from one corner or bookends of a main street, watch people invest slowly until those investments meet in the middle, and then we're left with this really amazing place.
Dan and I love living in Ottawa. We have set roots here. We're not going anywhere. So if there's something that we want to see happen in our community for future generations, then we should be a part of that, and we should be the ones to get that moving.